Hello there, welcome back to Return of the Nerd. Today we're going to be talking about episode 10 from Andor season 2. We're going to wrap up the review section. So 10, 11, 12, the final story arc, and that's it, we're done. So yes, I have watched all three, and pretty good. My favorite was episode 10, and I'm going to tell you why. So today, specifically, I'm going to talk about 10, all right? And then in the next video, we'll go just do 11 and 12 together, the finale, okay? And I'm wearing my glasses because I don't want to show the tears in my eyes because I'm so emotionally distraught right now. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't as emotionally disturbing as I thought it would be. Episode 10 was really good, and the reason why I loved it is because it only focuses on two people, and that is Luthen Rael and Kleya and their relationship, because we have always wanted to know right from the very start, who the hell are they, where did they come from? Right from, Andor season 1, Luthen, most people thought that, oh, this guy's got Jedi powers, he must have been a Padawan or something, and he must be a Force user, he's just hiding it. And who the hell is Kleya? Is she like his daughter? How did they meet? And we've had to wait like many years to find the answer. So the flashback scenes in episode 10 were done very, very, very well, and we find out that actually, and this was a big shock, right? Luthen was an Imperial officer. He worked for the Empire. He was a soldier. And it looks like he had just been on too many genocide missions, and he couldn't take it anymore. So there's that awful scene of him inside the ship, and he's cowering and is having like his kind of PTSD moment where he's just like, make it stop, make it go away, make it be quiet. And all you can hear outside are the villagers being rounded up and massacred. They're being put against the wall and executed, and it's really horrible. It's just a brutal scene. You can imagine it in your head, right? And then finally he realizes someone's in the ship. There's a stowaway. Now this reminds me a lot of Aliens, the second one, with Ripley. And yeah, so there's a Ripley moment, and he decides to do the right thing and keep her hidden. And in the end, he just takes the ship and flies off. He goes AWOL, absent without leave, and he's done. And it's good because I feel like the two of them, they have this like symbiotic relationship where he needs her and she needs him, because he feels guilty because he's probably responsible for massacring her entire village and probably her family as well. And he can also use her as to keep him company, to keep him sane, and also the fact that if there were any Imperial checkpoints, he would be able to pass himself off as, oh, this is my daughter. And she also needs him too, obviously, to survive. And she kind of looks up to him, and she wants to be like him, and she wants to fight back against the Empire. And yeah, they just build up this really strong relationship with each other, just like a real father and daughter. There's actually a really great flashback and I think they're on Naboo. You can put in the comment section. It's like they've been wandering around from planet to planet trying to scrape together money and survive and stay out of the way of Imperial entanglements. And then there's like one particular scene where they're in this very lush, fancy restaurant, and they're both wearing very nice clothing, and you can tell that they've got a little bit of money now, and they're on the up. And he puts a device on the table, and he tells her, do you want to press the button? Do you want to do it? And in the distance you see there's a bridge with like about 4 or 5 Imperial vehicles on there, and I just knew that it was the detonation device. And I thought Claire was going to push it, but then at the last second he just pulls it away from her and he goes, no. And then he pushes it, and then it's just kaboom! That was a great, satisfying moment. All those vehicles just blown to smithereens. Everyone's panicking and running away. And Kleya and Luthen are just like cool as a cucumber. And that's basically what they've been doing to get their own back at the Empire. The origins of Access is very, 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 very well done. And unfortunately, in this is the last time we're going to see Luthen, because in episode 10, Dedra has discovered who he really is, his identity, and she knows. So she goes to confront him in the antique store, and then when Luthen realizes the game's up, he stabs himself and takes his own life, rather than be taken in for questioning and be interrogated or tortured. He's like, nope, that's not going to happen. You're not going to get any information from me. I'd rather die, you know. And she seals off the building, has the paramedics come in, takes him away, puts him on life support, and she wants him to. She wants him alive. She wants questions. She wants to know, what does he know? Because in episode 10, now you start to see the Empire start to panic, because the Death Star is no longer a secret anymore because of Dedra and her snooping around and looking through other ISB officers' files and manuscripts, and she's kind of pieced everything together. Palpatine's energy program is not an energy program; it is a weapon of mass destruction. And Krennic, his scene in that is brilliant. Like, she gets arrested, and Krennic is, yeah, basically you can tell that she's not going to make this out. Because I thought maybe she ends up on the Death Star, and that's her final fate. She blows up with the Death Star, you know, in A New Hope. But no, we'll get to that later on in 11 and 12. Her and Pendergast, they finally get what's coming to them. Krennic is just a horrible, nasty person, and I'm so glad that he gets killed in Rogue One. I'm so sick of him. Yeah, it was great. The saddest moment, obviously, is when Kleya has to turn off Luthen's life support machine, and she has no choice, and she knows it's what he would want. And you get all these other emotional flashbacks of them from the past. And that's, I think a lot of fans must have teared up at that moment. And she looks at him for the last time, and as he draws his final breath, and then she kisses him on the head, and that's it. And she walks out. It's pretty amazing what Kleya can do by herself. She's like a one-woman army. She goes into the hospital, rigs explosives on several floors, and then she grabs the alien grandma in the wheelchair I'm going to take you up and get you checked in. Okay then. That was funny. And then she gets up as far as she can go, and there's an ISB tactical officer. Sorry, you can't go any further than this. It's been shut down for security reasons. And she's like, okay then. Sorry, I'm just laughing because of the grandma. The grandma alien, she hasn't got a clue what's going on. Let's get you checked in. And then she decides to sneak up the stairwell with the nurse's clipboard, and behind it is a blaster. So the ISB officer just comes around the corner and says, halt, and she goes, okay then, and just like shoots his face off. I thought that was really good. And so she manages to sneakily get up to the level. She sees where Luthen is, so then she detonates, blows up like half the hospital. And now you can write in the comments section below, don't a whole bunch of innocent people die? I mean, she blew up like half the hospital, right? So all the patients, doctors and nurses, aren't they all dead? And so she creates this distraction in order, you know, the stormtroopers and they all rush to see what's going on, and then that gives her a chance to slip in and then turn off Luthen's life support machine. But again, is this like she sacrificed all of those innocent lives for for the good of the many, as Saw Gerrera keeps saying, for the greater good, for the greater good. And it seems like a lot of innocent people in that episode. A lot of innocent people died in her flashbacks, and actually during the episode. Then she goes to the safe house, and this is interesting because there are so many safe houses around Coruscant, right? And this one's particularly disgusting, and it probably hasn't been used in a long time. And it's in this really run-down apartment block, and it reminds you of something out. If you've ever seen Judge Dredd, I am the law. It's like, it reminds you of Mega City. It's just an awful place to live. And there's this long corridor, and it's really dark and dank, and it's like there's just mold everywhere and like water dripping from the ceiling. It's horrible. And she's in this safe house, and she knows that inside the cement wall there's a very, very old communication device. So she takes like a tool, like a hammer or something. She starts smacking away, cracking into the wall, and she finally makes a big enough hole, so she pulls out this really old dusty communication device, cleans it up, connects it, and it works, and she starts sending out messages, and Will, who's on Yavin 4, manages to pick up, because he has one too, he has a little box, and he picks up the bleeps, and he's like, what's going on? This thing hasn't worked in ages. I don't know, is this just random? Is this broken? And he takes it to Andor, and they just, the message is mother. And I don't know what that means, because there's been so many, secret words and sentences in Andor, like, I have friends everywhere. I mean, what does that mean? You can write in the comment section. Did you figure out what that meant? Mother. And so then Andor believes that, there's a problem with Luthen. They don't know that Luthen's dead, but they just know that there's something really big is going down, right? So again, without permission, this is why I like episode 10 so much, is that Andor just keeps on pissing off the leaders of the Rebel Alliance by just doing whatever he wants to do on the spur of the moment. I'm going on a mission. Goodbye. No, you do not have permission to. And then, oh, he's already gone. And he's just constantly bickering with Bail Organa and Colonel, what's his name? I can't remember. Anyway, Draven. And he just doesn't really respect their chain of command. And so he takes K2SO and Melshi, and they go on a mission to go and see what's happening with Luthen. But then obviously when they get there, they find out Luthen's already dead, and it's really sad. And the one part that I thought was a mistake actually in that episode is that when they go into the safe house and they see Kleya, and they forget to turn off the communication device, so it's still bleeping, and the Empire are able to track the exact room. And I thought, that doesn't make any sense, because if you were a spy, or, I mean, these guys have had experience, right? They would have turned the communication device off immediately, but they didn't. They kept it on. And that was how the ISB tactical team were able to locate their precise location. And that leads into the next episode. But I have to say, KS2O or K2SO, I can never remember, just had me in stitches the entire episode. He is so funny. He's got to be one of my favorite droids of all time in Star Wars. Okay. And that's a good question for you guys today. Who's your favorite droid of all time in Star Wars? And I'm just going to go out there on a limb, and I'm going to say I just love Cassian Andor's relationship with K2SO. It's so funny because he's like got this split personality, because he's been reprogrammed. So he's really soft and gentle and well spoken. He's like, I don't think that's a very good idea. He's kind of like C-3PO, right? Oh, I think the risks are too high. Are you sure that's appropriate? I do not appreciate you cheating. I will never understand you humans. And he's so polite and so gentle. But then a second later, he's like ripping people's heads off and pulling their arms out of their body. And just the juxtaposition of those two in his personality makes me just laugh my balls off. Yeah, he was incredible. I'm so glad we got to see a lot of K2SO in the last 3 episodes, because he was brilliant. And then the other major scene that was really important in that episode was when Luthen goes to see the ISB mole, the guy that's been their inside man, and he's figured everything out, and he knows they're working on this Death Star project, but I think he doesn't actually know that it's a Death Star, but he knows they're building like a weapon of mass destruction. And it's really sad, because he says, you've got to get me out of here. You've got to get me out of here now. They're coming for me. I have a family. I have children. And then the next scene is you just see him slumped in the chair, and Luthen has executed him. Luthen's just shot him straight through the chest. And it's really quite that episode there was some really disturbing moments in that episode, but maybe that's why I liked it so much. I think episode 10 was better than episode 11 and 12. So that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to go on and I'm going to talk about episodes 11 and 12, about how we ended finally Andor season 2, and then how that connects and goes straight into Rogue One. Okay, so don't forget to leave your comments, because I always love reading them. Okay, all right, may the force be with you guys, and I shall see you all in the next one. Take care.